The most watched Google ADK tutorial on YouTube has over 350,000 views, and it teaches code that no longer runs. Since that video, Google's agent development kit tore out its own engine, went graph based, and grew into 5 languages, pulling over 15 million downloads a month. So today, we're rebuilding your mental model from zero on the current version. And here's the trick that makes ADK finally click. Stop thinking like a programmer. Think like a founder. In ADK, you don't write a program. You found a company. Every agent is an employee. The instruction is a job description. Tools are equipment. Managers run the workflows. And yes, there's a payroll. Over the next few minutes, you and I will hire a full staff, watch them work on a live dashboard, run their first performance review, read the payroll, and then take the company public. Every screen you're about to see is a real capture from my machine. Let's found this thing. First, the company registry. ADK, the Agent Development Kit, is Google's open source framework for building, debugging, and deploying AI agents. It launched in April 2025, and it's the same framework powering agents inside Google products like Agent Space and their customer engagement suite. So, this is not a research toy. Google runs it internally at serious scale. It's Apache 2 licensed, and it now ships in 5 languages. Python, sitting at over 20,000 GitHub stars. Go, Java, TypeScript, and Kotlin, which can even run agents on device on Android phones. The Python package alone pulls over 15 million downloads a month. Their docs open with a line that tells you exactly who this is for. Build production agents, not prototypes. But here's the detail almost nobody mentions. On July 7th, Google shipped 2 versions on the same day. Version 1.36 and version 2.4. 2 parallel lines, because version 2 was a full reorg of the engine. Keep that in mind, it's going to matter later. Let's make the first hire. One command scaffolds the office. ADK create plus a project name. You get 3 files: an agent file, an env file for your key, and an init file. The key is free from Google AI Studio, 1 line in the env file. Now, look at the job posting, because that's what an agent really is. Name, that's the employee's badge. Model, that's the brain you're renting, Gemini by default. Description, 1 line the rest of the company reads to decide when to route work here. Remember that one, it's not decoration. It silently drives delegation later. Instruction, the actual job description. Write it like you're onboarding a new hire on their first morning. And tools, the equipment you hand them. That's the whole posting. 8 lines of Python, and you have a working employee. Type ADK run, and you can chat with them in the terminal. This is a real capture, my greeter agent answering on the first try. You just hired employee number 1. Now the equipment room and my favorite ADK design decision. Any plain Python function is already a tool. No decorators, no schemas, no registration ceremony. You write a function, drop it in the agent's tools list, and the framework reads the function name, the type hints, and the doc string, and builds the tool definition for the model automatically. Which means the doc string is not a comment anymore. It's the training manual the employee actually reads to decide when to pick up that equipment. Write it carefully. On top of your own functions, Google ships built-in gear. Google Search gives your agent live results from the real web. 1 import. A code executor lets it write and run Python, so it does real math instead of guessing. And agent tool is the sneaky one. It wraps a whole other agent as a tool. So one employee can use another employee like a calculator, a contractor instead of a colleague. One catch to save you a headache. The built-in search tool is Gemini only, and it wants to be the only tool on that agent. If you need search plus your own functions, split them across 2 employees. Your staff is growing, so let's hire management. And this is where ADK gets genuinely elegant because managers are agents too. There are 3 management styles in the box. The sequential agent is the assembly line manager. First, this employee, then that one, then the next. Every time, no surprises. The parallel agent is divide and conquer. 3 researchers working at the same time, results collected at the end. And the loop agent is the perfectionist. It cycles a writer and a critic until the critic is satisfied and calls the exit loop tool, or a maximum iterations cap ends the meeting. Then there's the fourth style, the special one. Give any LLM agent subagents, and it becomes a delegating executive. No fixed process. It reads every employee's description line and routes each request live by judgment. So here's the difference in one sentence. Workflow managers are Rails. The executive is judgment. And here's the company we're actually building today. Briefly incorporated. A scout who researches with Google search. A writer who drafts the brief. And a quality loop where a critic and a fixer go back and forth until it's good. One sequential manager on top. 4 employees, one org chart, about 45 lines of Python. Now the part every tutorial skips, and the exact part that breaks every beginner. Where does this company keep information? There are 4 different places. Blur them together and your agents will gaslight you. So picture the office. First, the whiteboard in the meeting room. That's session state. Any employee can write on it, and it's how work gets passed along. Add one line to an agent, output key, and their final answer is automatically written on the whiteboard under that name. The next employee just says in its instruction, use whatever is under findings in curly braces, and it gets injected. That is the entire relay. Second, the meeting minutes. That's the session itself. The full transcript of events. Every message and every tool call in order. Third, the filing cabinet. That's memory. The searchable archive across sessions. Yesterday's meetings, last month's projects. An employee holding the load memory tool can go dig through the cabinet. And fourth, the supply room, called artifacts. Actual files, images, PDFs, audio. Saved and versioned automatically. One more whiteboard trick. Prefix a key with user colon and it follows that user across sessions. App colon is shared by the whole building. Temp colon is a sticky note that evaporates. Whiteboard, minutes, cabinet, supply room. Screenshot this diagram. It's the 4 boxes that make everything else make sense. Quick pause before we meet the front desk, because this building runs on something. Real talk. 90% of you watching haven't subscribed. On Facebook, subscribe is the supporter button. That is what keeps the lights on here. On YouTube, it's free and it tells the algorithm to send you more. Subscribe to support us. And look at that. Every floor back on. Let's keep moving. So who actually runs this building day to day? Not the agents, the runner. Every tutorial pastes this boilerplate without explaining it. So here's what it actually is. The runner is the front desk. Every visitor, meaning every user message, checks in there. The front desk pulls up the right session, wakes the right employee, logs every event into the minutes, saves the whiteboard, and hands you back the answer as a stream of events. That's why the code looks like this. A session service. A create session call. Then runner.run async with 3 IDs. App name, user ID, session ID. Which company, which customer, which conversation. Now, the trap that catches almost everyone. When you play with ADK run or the web dashboard, ADK quietly hardcodes the user ID to the literal word user. It's a demo receptionist. Perfect for testing. But the moment you build a real backend with real customers, you must pass real user IDs and a real session service. Or every customer in your building shares one whiteboard. and one flag upgrades you. Point the session service at a database like SQLite, and your sessions survive restarts. For a real backend, skip the dashboard and run ADK API server. That's the production front desk. Time to watch the stuff actually work. Type ADK Web and Google hands you something. No other framework ships this polished. A full control room. This is my real dashboard running the real Briefly company. Look at the left side. That's the org chart as a live graph. And as the request flows, each employee lights up green in real time. Scout, writer, quality loop, critic, exit. On the right, the events feed. You can see the Scout's real Google searches. The whiteboard writes state findings, state draft, and the exact moment the critic called exit loop. Click over to traces, and you get a waterfall. My whole company answered in 13 and a half seconds. And I can see the Scout took 5.2, the writer 4.8. This is where you debug delegation instead of guessing. And then the feature nobody covers, the evals tab, performance reviews. You save a good session as a test case, and ADK eval replays it against your staff every time you change anything, scoring whether they use the right tools in the right order and whether the final answer still holds. There are built in checks for hallucinations and safety, and even a user simulator that plays the customer. Your agents get regression tests the way real staff get reviews. There's even a new visual builder where you drag and drop the org chart itself. Now, the conversation every tutorial avoids: payroll. Your employees don't work for free, they bill you per token. And the org chart is a cost multiplier. So learn to read it like a founder. A loop agent with 3 iterations runs the writer and the critic 3 times. 3 salaries. A parallel agent with 3 researchers clocks in 3 employees at once. And if each one is searching and reading pages, that's your token bill. Times 3 on every single request. Stack a loop inside a sequence inside an executive, and one innocent user question quietly fans out into a dozen model calls. So here's the discipline: cheap brains for simple desks, flash class models for scouts and formatters, and the expensive model only where judgment lives. Cap every loop with max iterations and watch the trace tab because it shows exactly who spent what. Even Google made this argument with a straight face when they rebuilt the engine for version 2, moving orchestration out of the LLM and into the graph. Their own refund workflow benchmark cut token usage by roughly half and latency by 20%. Payroll is literally why version 2 exists. Which brings us to the reorg and the honest section of this video. In May, at Google I/O, ADK 2.0 went GA, and it is a different machine under the hood. Version 1 walked your org chart top down like a hierarchy. Version 2 compiles the whole company into a graph. Agents, tools, and functions become nodes and workflows along the edges. There's a new workflow class where you literally list those edges, including conditional routing. A classifier node reads each ticket and sends it to the bug desk, the support desk, or logistics. Data can now flow directly from node to node, typed, instead of everything squeezing through the whiteboard. And you get retries, fan out, human in the loop pauses, and nested workflows as engine features instead of your own duct tape. Now the fine print, because I promised honesty. 1. Most ADK tutorials out there, including the biggest ones, teach version 0 or version 1 code. Check the date before you copy anything. 2. Migration has teeth. If you build custom agents by overriding the internal run method, version 2 silently ignores those overrides. 3. Cold starts are a real complaint. The top open issue reports imports taking 8 to 25 seconds. So serverless chat apps need warm instances. And 4. ADK is Gemini first. Light LLM connects 100 other models, including GPT and Claude. But the built-in search and the live voice streaming Want Gemini. If you're deep in another cloud and need battle tested graph orchestration today, LangGraph remains a fair answer. ADK's bet is the fully integrated building. You decide if you're moving in. Your company works. Time to go public. There are three ways to ship it. The managed way is one command: ADK deploy agent engine. Your whole staff moves into Google's tower, the service now called Agent Runtime, with sessions and scaling handled for you. The portable way is Cloud Run or GKE, because in the end, it's just a container, and a container runs anywhere. But here's the 2026 part: the phone line between companies, A to A, the agent to agent protocol. Google donated it to the Linux Foundation, and over 150 organizations back it, including Microsoft, Amazon, SAP, and ServiceNow. In ADK, it's almost embarrassingly easy. One function to A, wraps your root agent and publishes it with a public agent card. And hiring a stranger is one class: remote A agent, pointed at their card URL, dropped into subagents like any other employee. Your company can now employ an agent that lives in a different company's building, running on a completely different framework. And with the Kotlin kit, an agent can even live on an Android phone, on device, offline. The org chart just left the building. So here's your company at a glance. Employees are agents. The instruction is the job description, and the doc string is the training manual. 3 managers plus 1 executive. Whiteboard, minutes, cabinet, supply room. The runner is the front desk. The control room is ADK web. Reviews are ADK eval. And payroll is real. So cap your loops. Your move this week is 4 steps. Pip install Google, ADK, and ADK create your first employee. Wire 2 more together with output key. That's the relay. Open the control room and watch one request flow across the whole graph, and save one good session as an eval before you change anything. I packed all of it into a free ADK hiring kit: the org chart cheat sheet, the 4-box memory diagram, the copy paste, briefly company, the eval quickstart, and the version 1 versus version 2 decision table. Comment the word hire, that's HIRE, and I'll send it straight to you, or grab it from the link in the description. My paid beginner guides are down there too if you're starting from zero. Bite Size AI lives on Instagram and Facebook, and the deep dives live here on YouTube. So subscribe so you're early to the next one. Now go found something.